Hello and good morning, beautiful people of 4B TV Production 1 on Thursday, April 2nd, 2020. Good day to be alive. Hello, Mr. McCarthy. Oh my God, I've been so cooped up. I just got to stretch it out. How's everyone doing today? Got the Yosh joining us. Yosh is going to hang out. Bum, bum, bum. Hey, Jack Farrow. Yoshi? No. Be a good dinosaur. Did you get a different haircut? I did cut my hair and I trimmed my beard. I was just doing this whole, hey, let's see how long I can go and maybe I can grow this thing out. And it just looked gross, so I got rid of it. Hi, Jess. Braden, hello. Jess with the compliments. This is Yoshi. Yoshi's just going to hang out with us today. I'm doing fine, Braden. I hope you are doing well as well. I haven't been outside yet today. It sounded cold. I hope it's not, because I would like to go for a walk. Simeon, Chris, hello. Evan, hello. The gang is all here. Oh, some of them left. Hi, Ryan. So that was a terrible hi. I didn't mean it like that. I was watching the view count go down. So people are popping in to say hello, and then they're leaving. And I'll be able to see that. So get ready. And by get ready, I mean me get ready to email parents. Oh, yeah. Oh, Will. Listen, Will, you know what? I'll be honest with you. I actually, when I put this on this morning, I was like, Will's going to make a comment. I know it. But here's the thing, though. If anything, all right, National League, American League, one, and then two, we're in the same division as the Mets, so we get to beat your subway rivals, which is good because everyone can beat the Mets. And I do. If I had to pick an AL team, I would actually pick the Yankees. I love Michael Kay. They're a fun team to watch. Yes, it sounded cold. You've never heard it sound cold? It was windy. I don't know. I just figured it sounded cold. Power went out twice. That's kind of a bummer. I'm sorry to hear that. I guess it's back now because we're online. Oh, Braden, let's go Mets. No, I'll pull for you guys because, quite frankly, it's surrounded by New York sports media, so it's hard to get any info on the Phils. But I thought this was an appropriate shirt to wear, and also appropriate because I saw a tweet this morning that NBC put out, NBC Sports, about who's the best mascot. And, of course, it's the Phillie Phanatic. I'm sorry, Mr. Met has got nothing on the Phillie Phanatic. The Yankees don't even have a mascot. Maria, hello, good morning. We hate the Phillies the least? Well, I guess that's good. I mean, it's probably easy to hate the Eagles. I can see that just because football fans are way rowdier than baseball fans. Although the Flyers, they're good from time to time as well. The Sixers are just terrible, so it's kind of hard to hate the Sixers. You got to be really mean to do that. All right, well, you guys are all super lively today, which is awesome. But we're also going to have a short stream today because I just wanted to make sure you guys were good with your Spotlight assignment. Remember, it's kind of a weird due date for us because we're not meeting tomorrow, but the assignment is due by 1 o'clock tomorrow as well, so that we can have a discussion about it on Monday. And then meet again briefly on Wednesday just before we head into spring break to say see ya. I'm probably going to do, since I want to stick to my vow to not give any work over break, I'm going to stick to my vow to not do that. But I think Monday into Wednesday, I'm going to prep a Google survey um, kind of thing just to get some feedback from you guys and gals about how your experience has been over the last 3 weeks, not only with my class but with all classes, and then ask for feedback on what I can do to make our time together more meaningful and better for you, and just what worked and what hasn't, so I can make some adjustments and tweaks over break. Because I like the fact that we can kind of chat in this environment where it's a little bit more structured than a Zoom meeting, because I hear those are either painfully quiet or back and revisit that. Sorry, there was a stream issue there. There we go. Yeah, it cut out, but now we're back. Oh yeah, Braden, that's right. Matt, and we have a Ryan. Ryan, what is that? That's like the Rocky Horror mouth surrounded by weird eyes. Ah, and we're missing half the class. Oh yeah. All right. Well, I kind of spelled out where we're looking at next week a little bit. I've got one more announcement on grades, as I've gotten a few emails from some of you and some other students as well. As you know, the marking period is ending on Monday. The spotlight assignment and class participation are 2 grades that are going to go in over the weekend. So Friday, when I get that assignment, I'll use the weekend to grade it. Class participation will go in, and that's going to encompass the marking period as a whole. And then it was added actually yesterday, so I just wanted to take a minute to explain it. But the broadcasting project that we were working on when we before we left the building has been added, and thankfully, there were components of that I was able to look at and assess based on pre-production work, and then the small amount of time we had in the studio. Regardless if you were at the desk or at the helm directing, you still had a position in there where you were doing a job, and I have notes on all of that, and I have notes on the troublemakers. So all that stuff, in addition to your script and your rundown and your individual segments and stuff. So I was able to put a grade in there, and in full transparency, I skewed a little higher, just because, one, it had been so long, and two, we didn't really finish it the right way. But I took a look at things like work ethic and attitude in the pre-production phases. So, like, if you were an anchor, for example, but you didn't write that much and your producer had to cover your butt, then your score probably went down a little bit. And so I don't think anyone in class scored lower than an 80. But I wanted to make sure that that grade was in after I had an extensive conversation with my supervisor about how the 4th marking period was going to come about. And I know that project grades are worth a little bit more, so you probably saw a bigger jump in your grade than you would have with a homework assignment. And you'll notice a similar jump because class participation is also weighted a little bit heavier. So if you guys have checked your grades or haven't and have questions about that, then just let me know. I can certainly answer those for you. And if it's something that you want to email me about privately so I don't talk about it now, then you can do that as well. So just a little update on the grades there. Wait, whose quarantine birthday is it? Oh my God, it's Chris's birthday? Happy early birthday. Aw. All right, so anyone else joining? So it's Chris and I so far in the quarantine birthday club. If anyone else is going to end up joining us, let us know. You know, I can look up everyone's birthday and just see if you're all lying and stuff. No, don't do that. There we go. 20th of April? Okay, so that's the day we're back from spring break, which is a B-Day. So we'll be back together on Gianna's birthday. That's awesome. Wait, the 10th and 17th of April? Who are these people? Wait, Jess, your birthday's April 10th, and Jack, your birthday's April 17th? Mr. Leonard's right here. Jack, what's happening? What is happening in this chat right now? Oh, Jack, we're going to hope we go back after spring break, but not holding my breath. I don't think it's going to end up happening. At this rate, I'm hoping by June, for being honest. Oh, thank you. I've had a song stuck in my head for like days, not days. Actually, yes, like a day, but I've become obsessed with it. So I've been shimmying and singing to myself quite a bit. In fact, copy. Oh, you guys are always a source of entertainment. Will I sing it? No, I won't sing it. That's not going to happen. I'm sorry. Not voluntarily, at least. Voluntarily. Sometimes it will just come out randomly. I'll put a link in the chat for you. You can check it out when we're done, because it's a banger. It was actually the opening song to the morning show that went out today. If you haven't watched it, watch it, because my morning show class worked really hard on it over the great distances that we face, and we managed to put that together. And I edited the show using a platform that we're going to use when we're back from break called WeVideo. So that's kind of exciting that we'll be able to get back into some video projects. Jack, I don't know what's going on your screen, but we've been here the whole time. Yeah, student council meeting 1:15. Mrs. McCready is going to send out the Zoom evites for that, and then we'll gab and chat and laugh and chuckle. Okay, but let's get down to at least some business. So I made those announcements on grades and kind of where we are with this project. Due 1 o'clock tomorrow. Discussion on Monday, and then we'll have a light survey into Wednesday to talk about briefly, but then say sayonara for spring break. And then we'll be back with some WeVideo tutorials and some light video projects. But I want to ask now formally to the group as a means to check in and get an update from everyone. We had a really good discussion last class. Between some folks, Jess and Simi, you guys threw out some questions and needed clarification on stuff, and I'm really happy that you did that because hopefully other people heard that, and then that information was useful for them. Does anyone have any questions or concerns, issues with the film, with the question packet? Things that you finished the movie and you went through the questions and all of a sudden you realize, wait, I have 3 questions in a row that I don't have. Maybe I can point you in the right direction or right part of that film to get you to go back and check for that. Let me know in the chat. Drop something in there, and if you're good, if you're cool, let me know that too, just so I can get a sense of where everybody is. Because if you feel comfortable with everything, then you can feel free to bounce on out and take care of other stuff. If you feel like you're a little behind and want to use this time since you're at a computer already to watch the rest of that, do the questions, or stuff for other class, that's perfectly fine too. Gianna, I'm glad you like the movie. What did the priest give Marty? All right, so remember Marty is the head editor. He's the guy that's kind of taking over the paper from the top down. And so when he meets with the uh, figurehead, he's given an item that he opens it up in his car, and even I had to pause just to see what it was called. I don't want to give you the answer, but there's a scene after he goes to the church and meets with someone. He gets handed a package. It's wrapped in, I think, brown paper with a red bow, and he takes it back to his car and opens it up. Question 2. Refresh my memory, Jess. I don't have the doc open in front of me. If you have it open in front of you, what's the question there? Maria, did you finish the film? I'm glad you found it interesting. Did you finish it up though and make it all the way through? Okay, Gianna, that helped. Good. Oh. Sorry, the one thing is that, obviously what you guys see on YouTube's end is about 25 seconds behind when I actually say it. So I know when I pause for questions and stuff, it feels like it takes twice as long. What is the spotlight section? Well, that's the group of people that we're following are the spotlight section. So that section focuses on what kind of journalism and then what kind of stories. 30 minutes left. Oh, Maria, so you're in the home stretch. So you're going to see kind of everything come together in a really, impactful way, which is awesome. All right, so Will, why do they need to wait for the perfect time to release the story? And I think you're in the final, final quarter of the film there. The timing gets kind of thrown off for two reasons. One of them is 9/11, and then the other reason is they're trying to, let's see, how do I phrase this the right way? There's a conversation that's had in the office about once some of the documents become accessible, their concern is that another newspaper could come and do a report on those documents and get a story out before the Spotlight team finishes. And if they don't do a good enough job or a job as well as the Spotlight team, there's a concern that when they put their story out, it's not going to be as impactful. And so there's a debate on, do we put out an unfinished product or do we make sure that this is the best it can possibly be before it goes out. And so there's kind of that balance of quality versus timeliness. And so there's a conversation in the office about that. Evan, I'm happy to hear that you found it interesting. And I think, heading into it, reading the description, it's very easy to go, this doesn't sound like it's going to be good at all. But I'm glad that you at least found it interesting. And it won the Best Picture Academy Award. Jess, if it helps, go back to the. You might want to visit the earlier part of the film when he's sitting down with Marty in the restaurant, and he kind of explains what Spotlight's all about. That's part of the answer there. Dan, I think Mrs. McCready had mentioned in the email yesterday, like 1:15 to 1:30, as just a quick time to get together. So if you feel like you're comfortable checking out a class right now and you want to go take care of some stuff or have lunch before then by all means go for it. But look for that invite around 1:15. Okay, Will, I'm glad that helped you out. Oh. Does anyone else have any questions about the film or questions on that packet for you? Because if you feel good, if you feel comfortable, if you're like, I got this, no problem, it'll be in before 1 tomorrow, then, like I said, feel free to sign off, check out, take care of other work, take care of the rest of this work, have lunch. All right, you're just kind of in that home stretch. I wouldn't put it off any longer. If you're near the end of that film and have a few more questions, go for it. And just remember that the questions, the last set of 4 questions, all right, are a little bit lengthier, so they might take a little bit longer. But once you get through the initial questions, that's a good place to take a break, and then revisit those last 4 questions a little bit later. Okay, so Richard Sipe, Simi, good question. Richard Sipe, and I'm just going to double check my notes here real quick because there were a few characters that they mentioned that we don't actually see. I don't want to misspeak. Because they mentioned his profession, and I had to pause it and go back a few times to get the title, and I don't think I got it down correctly. So let me just double check my notes real quick. All right, because I know he was a former priest, but his role in the movie at that point, he's no longer a priest. They mentioned him working at some institute. He is a psychotherapist who specifically studied sex abuse patterns and the kind of the secrecies in the Catholic Church. And in the film, there you go. He mentioned the treatment center he worked at, and that treatment center was psychoanalytically trying to figure out with sexual abuse victims what was going on, so he can piece together the bigger picture. So he was pretty insurmountable, proprietor of evidence and insight to the reporters that had spoken to him throughout that whole kind of spotlight scandal, I guess we can call it. He did pass away in 2018, actually. He was 85 years old. So if you want the technical answer, yeah, he was a psychotherapist at a treatment center and a former priest. That would answer the question directly. His contributions obviously are pretty explicit in the film, just because they make a point to really hone in on those phone conversations. And if you think about it, there's a lot of phone conversations where we don't always hear the person on the other end of the phone, just the one character, like their one side. So the fact that they singled him out as someone that we hear on the other end is pretty key. All right, some folks are starting to trickle out, which is very cool. If there's anyone here that has assignments that they did not get to me that were assigned earlier, tomorrow is the last day I'm taking those as well. All right, since the marking period ends on Monday, 1 o'clock on Friday is the last I'll take any missed work or late work, just to make sure that I can get them in and posted on time. So if you have those assignments too, just figured I'd mention that. Well, I'm getting the hiccups and trying to swallow them, and they're turning into burps. Mr. Farrow. With the editing thing I put on Classroom. Burp, 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 burp. Oh yeah, I put the screenshot up there. Yes, I've been working out some of the kinks behind the scenes. My TV3 class, we started to get into it yesterday, and it was a disaster. For a lot of reasons. One, technical. Two, I had made some bad presumptions on what things looked like on the student side. That wasn't actually the case, but I took my afternoon and evening yesterday to learn and understand some of those kinks. And then I did it again with my morning show class today. It went much better. So I have a better understanding of how that's going to work. So to answer your question, Jack, yes. I'm just a little hesitant to get into that platform next week, only because by the time we start using it, we're going to then take 10 days off and then coming back to it. Might be a bit much. And so if I have an opportunity to kind of lighten your workload at the week before break and at the start of the fourth marking period, I think that's a good time to kind of just breathe a little bit and then know that right around the corner we've got spring break, which should be some, downtime for you guys. And I understand we might be in a situation where we can't go anywhere or do much outside of the house. But if you got 10 days where you know that you can spend time with family and, not have to worry about schoolwork, I think that's important. So yeah, we're going to get into some simple things that we can do around the house when we're back using that platform. And so I'm excited to get into that with you guys, because I think you'll adapt really well from Premiere, and it's going to allow us to do projects that are it's a little bit more interesting than some of the work you might do in other classes. I know teachers are trying to be creative and find meaningful things to do and work within the means that everyone has at home. So, this could be a really good opportunity for us to kind of stretch a little bit outside of some of that work and do things that we should be doing and would be doing in class otherwise. All right. Any other questions on the film, on the packet, on class, on school, on life? I'm going to throw in going to throw in the link to the music video of the song that I've been singing all day in my head because it's super catchy and the video's funky. It's only 4 minutes, but don't skip through the first 30 seconds, even though it is in a different language. It sets up the video really well. It's fun. It's weird, but I like it. Because now I know you're not listening to me. You're watching a music video. Hey. All right, gang. So I'm probably going to sign off in a few minutes. I'll hang here in the chat for a bit. But otherwise, just remember 1 o'clock tomorrow for that assignment to be turned in. All right. And then that way it'll prep us for our discussion on Monday. Light survey into Wednesday, where we'll talk about that briefly and spend some time together before we get into break. And we'll pick up some video editing projects and work once we are back from break. So looking forward to all of that stuff with you. I'll talk to you later. Enjoy your weekend if I don't hear from you between now and Friday. But again, if you do, email me. I'm always there for questions and answers if you need them. And we will touch base again on Monday. All right. Adios, everyone.